Creative Checkup. And what I want to tell you about is the fears, like I just demonstrated, the fear of going live, the fear of showing up for your audience, the fear of not being able to demonstrate or be the right person for the job when it comes to serving the people that you are called to serve. And here's why that's so important. Hopefully Tobias and one of these other guys will come back in on Facebook or YouTube because now we got it fixed, but I'm afraid half of them jumped off when they saw no sound was going on. So that's another issue that I have to deal with. So let me talk about quickly why this is an issue for most of us creatives. If this is an issue for you, just put yes in the comments, okay? Put yes or that's me in the comments. If you've ever struggled to go live because you're afraid of what people will think of your appearance, what people will think of your sound, of your music, whether they'll like you, whether people will turn you off, whether you'll be talking to nobody, these are all common issues that people have when it comes to showing up live for video conferencing, video, whatever. Like we're all in Zoom things now because of COVID. So a lot of us are dealing with that screen fatigue. We got to show up on video cameras. We got to show up on webcams. So maybe this isn't as much an issue as it used to be. But it's still a big issue for musicians and creators when it comes to showing up live over and over again, doing a live show, doing a live broadcast, doing a live event. These things can become extremely stressful. And like I just said, I demonstrated it because I had a big issue with sound and just switched it back. And like I said, still nervous because I'm not more sure it's working and making sure everybody can hear me on the live feed. But has anybody ever dealt with that? Have you ever dealt with that Instagram? Let me know if you've dealt with that. The fear of going live, or maybe you haven't gone live before because of those same fears. So even as I put my earphones on, yeah, it's actually good to wait for a second to see if you guys are hearing me, and I can hear the delay. But we're finally live, so that's a good thing. We finally got sound on. So here are some ideas that I'd like to share with you to help you to get over the fears of going live. Number one, the fear of going live. And then number two, I want to help you to see the benefits that I've learned over the last few months. Since I've decided to go live every week, even with you right now, there are a couple of things that have helped me to get over myself, get over my fears, get over my insecurities, and do the live thing consistently and confidently. And I say confidently with a air quotes because every week I get this nervousness, and you just saw it when I had the issue with the sound, where it's like, wait, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe my equipment's wrong, and it turned out to be just something simple, a little click that I didn't do on my sound on my off my software that prevented the sound from coming out. And as soon as I realized what it was, it's like, oh, of course, that's simple. But in the meantime, I was freaking out a little bit. And so that's where, like I said, I have to kind of go back and look at myself and say, okay, how did I overcome these struggles and fears of going live where anytime at all can be, you're so vulnerable. I'm vulnerable right now in front of you where you can turn it off or turn it on. You can say yes or say no. You can say this is horrible or this is great. And it really is a vulnerable place to do this, whether you're as a musician or as a teacher or online coach or artist of any kind, where you're sharing your gift out loud over and over again in a weekly show like this. So here's the first thing that I want to talk about. And that's exactly what I just demonstrated again. It's kind of perfect that I had the issue with the sound. There's a fear of showing up and messing up. Just like you saw with my issue just now. I had to kind of get over that moment that, wait a minute, if I show up and things don't work right, it's an automatic judgment that I might be facing. I might be facing immediately people saying, well, this guy just doesn't know what he's talking about. Or in terms of music, he may not know, like, the sound isn't good or whatever it is that they can immediately take a look at and say, this is not for me. And we can feel that internally. We can immediately feel the sting of judgment when we say we go live or we're going to present our art. And this, of course, goes for live performances as well. But I think particularly in video, it's a little bit more anxiety ridden because we don't see the audience, because I can see your comments, but all I can see is like numbers popping up or whether anybody's watching. And so for the first few times when I do this and there's no one seen to be watching, it can feel like this is pointless and I've been judged and I shouldn't be doing this at all. What I want to kind of tell you is that that fear was what permeated every single time I went live at the very beginning when I first started the show, when I first started my podcast, about the same thing. Even though it wasn't live, it was similar. So if anybody else has ever dealt with that and you're watching this, even on the replay, just say that's me or give me a comment to let me know. Actually, let me jump over here real quick and just see. I had one comment, but I didn't see it pop up. So let me make sure everybody's connected here. And I like to do this just to make sure everybody can see the chat as well. There we go. So that's a little reminder just to make sure everybody can hear and see. And so if you're responding to that, that'll help me know that you're there, number one, even on the replay. And then number two, make sure that we've got the technical stuff figured out. So I had to deal with this fear of showing up and messing up. After that, though, I realized that there were three keys, major keys, to me getting over myself and showing up week after week. And this equates to both your confidence and your consistency in doing what you're called to do. Because if you've got a gift that God blessed you with, you've got to share it. And there's people that are waiting for you to share it. But if you're not sharing it because of the fear of showing up, because of the fear of being the person that you are being called to be, because you don't feel like you're worthy or that people are going to judge you or whatever that thing is, you've got to find ways to get over yourself, because there's somebody waiting for you to show up and do what you're gifted to do. So I'm going to give you three keys that I think will help you. And those three keys to showing up and serving, again, they mostly focus on the service aspect. You got to serve other people, whether it's with entertainment, whether it's with information or inspiration. That's mostly what we give, these three components of showing up live for. You might be there to entertain, to educate, or to inspire. Okay, all three of those things can go into one. Like, I hope that my show educates people and inspires people, and I hope it's entertaining. But somewhere in those three things, you've got to find how your gift and your creativity is important enough to share it so that you can serve others with the need that they have at that specific time. As you guys probably hear, there's a truck going by right now. So once again, something that you can't predict that happens to go wrong, and you have to go live anyway. So again, this is a perfect example of making sure that you go live even when things don't go right. So here's key number one. Key number one is what I'm kind of doing right now. Let me turn this light down, by the way, also. I have all these technical things that I just don't like. And of course, I'm demonstrating some of the problems with just going live, where you start to think about all the things that are going wrong. So number one is I inverted my focus. I inverted my focus from myself, which is very hard because I can be self-focused and self-centered. But I had to invert my focus from myself to the people on the other side of the screen, which right now includes you. I can't be so self-centered and worried about what you think about me that if I have something to share, that I won't share it because I want to avoid criticism or avoid judgment. So the first few times I went live, both my live show, my Keep the Music Playing show, and this particular Creative Checkup, the overwhelming desire was to hide, get it off the internet as much as possible, make sure nobody can see it, and almost not tell anybody. Because I didn't want to be judged or seen as not capable, not competent. Again, like you saw, having the phone mess up, or the thing wrong, or people look at the way I look, or not having the right clothes on. All those things kind of got into my spirit. It's like, well, maybe I'll just do this to say that I did it, but I won't really do it on purpose. I won't do it for the goal of actually showing up and serving people. I'll do it just to kind of check something off the list and say that I tried. But that was the wrong focus. The right focus always should have been on you, on my customers, on my audience on the people who needed to hear or see or be entertained or inspired with quality content. So the first thing I want you to do, if you're fearing going live each week or fearing starting a show or starting a podcast or starting a live music event, a live stream, concert series, or anything like that, whatever it is, I need you to invert your focus. Take your focus off yourself and what people think of you, and think of what people will be missing out on if you don't do it. If you don't do it, they'll be missing out on whatever you've been blessed to provide. If it's music, teaching, career advice, lifestyle advice, whatever you do or present, educate, entertain, or inspire with, if you don't use those gifts, you're basically sitting on them like the person in the Bible where they say that he dug up his gift and threw it into the little pit and wouldn't share it when the master gave him the talents, the parable of the talents. You're digging into the ground, you're putting your thing in the ground because you're scared of what people will say or think. When those people need your investment, they need your time, they need your gift, they need you to show up and serve, and that includes on video, especially in these days of COVID, when there's so little time or ability to connect with people online, outside of online, offline. It becomes so important that you not give up on those people simply because you're nervous about what they will think about you. Realize that even if you help one person, that person might be the person that God's calling you to help, to serve, and to share with. So don't let your focus get on you, even though, like you can see with me, the temptation is to worry about what you're being considered or how you're being seen or how you're being judged. Make sure that you invert your focus onto those people. So let's go on to number 2. And let me ask you about frequency, or tell you about frequency. The second thing that helped me after I inverted my focus from thinking about myself and how I'd be considered and treated and judged as a broadcaster, as a person going live, or a musician, the second thing I did was that I increased the frequency of going live, which basically means show up more often. If you want to become someone that has a bigger impact on the people that you are called to serve, you got to be there more often. And that might include weekly, like we do, weekly live streams. Now I do a weekly live stream here on this particular platform with Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as on the, as well as for my Keep the Music Playing series, which is, the musical series. So both of those are pretty much every week, or every once in a while we'll skip a week, but it's pretty consistent. And the reason why it was so important for me to get the frequency in is because I had to prove to myself and to you and to the people around that might be following me that when you turn on this particular video, there will be somebody there who says they'll be there. They'll follow through with their word. They'll be consistent. And not only that, they'll consistently get better at it, and you'll get more and more confidence because you're showing up over and over. Now, the first time I did the live stream, I'm sure it's pretty rough. It's just like this one was a little bit rough, and I'm still learning as I go. But the more I do this, the more confident I feel that I can get through it. Even with that first issue with sound, I was able to work it out. Same thing happened in our first live stream this weekend, and I had a lot of issues and technical stuff that drove me crazy. But we stuck with the show, we got through it, and a lot of people were happy with it. A lot of people were blessed by it. And that means even when I don't feel like going live, I still have to go live. I still have to show up. And that is something I want you to do as well, is to show up for the people you serve more frequently. That might mean for you just once a month, or it might mean once a week, or it might mean twice a week. Whatever that number is for you, you've got to make sure that you always remember that it's about them, and increasing your frequency is going to help you to get more confident, more consistent, obviously, and then setting up a routine is going to help you to be more confident each time as well. So I followed the same routine to set up for this. A couple of things that were mixed up is probably why I had the mistake of the sound. But if you can keep the same routine, you're going to have a much better chance of becoming a confident and consistent artist, creative, sharing your gift live with people. Let me make sure. I think we've already shared. Now let's do the share one more time to make sure creative community is here and our mastermind community as well. Got about 10 minutes left. We're going to make sure to let you go on time because I know we started a little late. So, three, if you, by the way, if anybody's watching this and you're getting some value out of this, share it right now. Tell me in the comments which of these keys helped you the most, because we're on key number three. This is the last of the three keys. So key number three is I informed my followers that I was going live, and this is a big one. Guys, I know I'm talking to a lot of you who hate feeling like you're spamming people and you don't want to say it over and over, and you hate posting all the time. Maybe you just say it's so much hassle to get people to come to my live stream or to do all this, posting and boosting and social media and email. But trust me, think of it again. Number one, inverting your focus. If you don't let your followers know that you're going live, just like you might have seen that my live countdown, or you might have seen my email, or you might have seen my social media blast. I've been doing this now again consistently pretty much every week for the last 8 months, 9 months, and our Keep the Music Playing show pretty much every Saturday for the last 6. So that has built a lot of consistency, and that has helped me to keep reminding people, come back. We'll be here when you need us. Come watch this show. Informing them through social media and through email has been super important. So, by the way, just, curious, how did you find this particular show? If you found it, how did you find out? Did I inform you through email? Are you already a follower? Did you find out through social media? Let me know in the comments as well how you found the show, because that would be very instructive even as I talk about this, to see how you found this particular broadcast. Because then I can say to people, look, one person found us on Twitter, another found us on Facebook, another found us through email. But all those channels are me informing you that I'm going to be here, and it helps me to serve you, because at least if I'm connecting with you, you can tell me what things are helping you, whether or not the time is right, all these things that can help you to build a better life and build a career come from being in touch and integrated with your audience. So if you don't show up and inform them and let them know when you're doing things, and you just kind of like hide under a rock, you can't be surprised when your show doesn't grow and when you don't build an impact with the people that you're called to serve. And again, it's about them. Going back to point number one, inverting your focus means you're going to focus on those people and what they need. So when you inform them, you're not trying to just simply build a career, build a big following, get a bunch of followers on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook. You're trying to serve the people that need to be served with the gift that God blessed you with. And unless you do these types of things, work through your past, work through your struggles, work through your insecurities, and really show up for them, you're not going to serve them the way that you've been blessed to serve. So I've gone through 3 keys: inverting your focus, increasing your frequency, and informing your followers. Now I want to tell you a few ways that you can do that and create these events, for whether you're live streaming or whether you are doing concerts or whatever that is. First one I want to tell you right here is from Ticket Tailor. Ticket, Tailor. If you are doing online events that are ticketed, in other words, you want people to, pay a certain amount or donate to attend your event. Ticket Tailor is a event space ticket manager that allows you to sell tickets, obviously online. And they are currently presenting a free plan for people who are presenting online events. So if you're creating online events, this is a no-brainer for you right now. They're giving out free plans to promote your live stream events through 2020. So if your event happens before December 31st, 2020, and you sign up with Ticket Tailor at godandgifts.com/Ticket Tailor, you have no ticket fees. The only fees would be from your current credit card processor or PayPal. Okay? It's a huge benefit, because if you are doing any kind of event online and you can save on your ticket fees, you've helped yourself to monetize this. And that's why I'm sharing it with you, because maybe one of your fears was, I don't know how to even afford this. Well, I'm giving you a way that you can create ticketed events online that will not cost you a dime other than your online, your credit card processing charges. Okay? So I really suggest that you check that out. GodandGifts.com/Ticket Tailor. Oh, Verne, awesome. You shared it on Facebook, and thank you so much for that. I don't see your comments on my other chat, which is annoying because I didn't see it till oh, there you are. Just popped up. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And yes, that's so cool that you saw that you were following God Gig. So that's an example of social sharing. So social sharing helped you find this broadcast. And again, I didn't always do this. I didn't always share it. And I forced myself to share it a couple of times just to say, okay, I know it's not quite right, and I'm still working on the sound, and I've got issues here and issues there. And again, I'm so glad, not glad that it messed up, but I am glad that I was able to push through the technical issues even this time and fix what was broken, and then get to the point where I was like, you know what? Even if something's wrong, I'm still going to go live. I'm still going to be consistent. I still need to serve the people who need to be served. So, Verne, I hope I said that right, Verne. Thank you so much for jumping in and giving us that comment. Because, yeah, this is what it's all about, is showing up even on social media, showing up even when it's kind of tough to post again. There are a lot of tools I can share with you to help you post without having to repeat yourself and say it all over the place and retype it all over the place. And we'll talk about that. So, godandgigs.com/ticket Taylor. Check that out if you want to sell tickets to your events. This is for the musicians and creatives who want to do live streams, and like I'm talking about right now, create a live stream event. So if you're interested in a checklist that will help you to create that live stream event, go to godandgigs.com/live stream, and then you'll get a 2-week checklist where I kind of break down some of these concepts, not all of them, but a really quick way. And then the best thing is I have a checklist right there. You can check off the things you need to do to prepare your live stream event. Plus, I have a little list of great resources you can use, tripods you can look up for cameras, the best way to create a Facebook group so that you can kind of share inside your Facebook group. I have all these different lists of resources on that same checklist. So go to godandgigs.com/live stream, and that's going to help you get over your fears, because it'll give you a template. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Check it off, and then you'll be on your way to creating your live stream event where you can reach the people you're called to reach and serve them better. Finally, if you're interested in getting the word out about your live streams through email, I have this right here. You're watching on Facebook and YouTube. I know Instagram, you can't see these particular things I'm sliding across, but I'm telling you out loud. godandgigs.com/email workshop. godandgigs.com/email workshop. That's going to help you by getting your email list up and running so you can notify people when you're going live. Now, I'm sure some of you that might be watching on the replay, you might have seen my email list go out, my email blast about this particular show go out. So you're watching right now because I use a series called ConvertKit, a tool called ConvertKit. ConvertKit is an email service provider, customer service management system that allows me to make landing pages, but also to make my email list and to contact people who have desire to be contacted through opt-ins and lead pages and landing pages. So if you have never tried email marketing to contact people and get the word out about your live streams, you're missing out, because not everybody's going to see your social media posts. But pretty much if you get in someone's inbox, at least they have the choice of whether to open it, but it's there. So I sincerely invite you to go to email workshop, godandgigs.com/email workshop, and they will teach you how to build your list in less than 24 hours, how to put great emails together so that you can encourage people to show up, to find your voice with email, and why email still matters even in 2020, why it's still the most effective way of reaching your audience. Again, we're talking about serving your audience, the people that you're called to serve. You can't serve them if you can't talk to them. So I invite you to check that out, okay? So 3 resources, godandgigs.com/live stream, godandgigs.com/email workshop, and godandgigs.com/ticket Taylor. All those things are going to help you to get your live streams together. Okay, so that was our creative checkup for today. Thanks again, Verne, for checking in. Anybody else that checked in who didn't comment, but you were there, thank you so much for joining me for today. Thank you for putting up with the little problems with sound. Again, just one button that I forgot to click, and that's just proof why you got to stick with it, why I think it's important enough. Put myself out there, take a chance, take a risk on making a mistake, but still show up and serve. I hope you saw that even in today's talk, the way that I had to do that is the same way you got to do that. Make some mistakes, start ugly, start dirty, try your best, make it as clean and good as professional as you can, but by all means, start. Don't get in your own way. Step out, start sharing your stuff, and see if you don't bless some people that have been waiting for you to take that leap of faith. Okay? God bless you guys. Thanks so much for joining us with our Creative Checkup. I'll see you next Monday. Hopefully with no technical snafus, all the stuff's figured out. And I can't wait to see what you'll do with this information. Please make sure you share this video if you're watching all the way to now. Share this video. Subscribe to our podcast, godofgigs.com/category/podcast. Also, all the things that are on the blog, of course, are there for you at godofgigs.com. Okay? Thanks for joining me. Can't wait to see what you're going to do when you go live. Let me know when you go live so I can support you, share what you're doing, and we can continue to help each other to build better lives for ourselves and for others. God bless. Have a great day.